Hi. I'm Lou.
John?
A lot of you know us quite well. If you're new to the site, we have lots of members coming from all over the world.
Yep.
Welcome. And we've chosen to just kind of really clarify something. That the title of this is We're All in This Together. And I think it's really important. It's one of the reasons that we started this website.
Yep.
And for me, living with the drinker was the loneliest, most isolated thing, experience I've ever had in my life. I suppose as a drinker, you feel very isolated as well, don't you?
Yeah, you feel more emotionally isolated, I would think. You know? And for me, I was just thinking about this last night for some reason. And there were people in my life that I went and I drank with. I couldn't say they were friends. I certainly couldn't say they were confidants. And I didn't really feel close to them, you know. My parents used to talk about related through drink,
Right, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and that just about summed it up, that we were related through drink, you know. And I had this remembrance, and it was a kind of Ochi one, you know, and I remember us all sitting, singing along to Boney M. Rasputin. And I don't know why that came into my mind, but I just remember sitting there and thinking, these are not really my friends. You know, these are people I drink with.
Okay. So both of what we've described are kind of a sense of disconnected.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, if you, the other aspect of this is, you know, if you look at the name of the website, it's called Bottled Up. And the reason we called it that was because that's what people do. They tend to bottle things up and they do disconnect, you know.
So I think our question, if you're listening to this, is where are you in the journey out of secrecy? One of the ways we want you to use this site, and this kind of ebbs and flows, doesn't it, is to try and connect with someone. Now, I think we say use the forum, and we're saying do that again, but I think that people get tied into something is that you have to express. Some people use the forum and they express their problems so beautifully, and we absolutely love that, but we don't want that to be a hoop that you have to jump through. You know, you may just need to say your name, or any other name, make up a name, say where you're from, and just give a little bit about your narrative. I'm here because my child drinks. I'm here because my partner drinks. You know, is this going out to both sides of Bottled Up?
And nobody can see this one. It's actually going to be very public.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So
you know, the forum isn't, but the video is.
Sure. With the forum, we would encourage you just to arrive.
Yeah.
And if you want to say who you are, we have an app now in the UK about the neighbourhood, and often you'll get just somebody saying, I'm Sheila, I live up the road, I've just arrived in Devon, you know, or some people share their skills. And it's kind of nice, it's a sense of kind of belonging. And we encourage you to do that in the forum, just so that you sense there's a whole family of people in Bottled Up that know what you're going through. And you might find, first of all, you say who you are, and then maybe next week you'll say a little bit about what's
I think
going
one
on.
of the, you know, certainly one of the most common, excuse me, one of the most common comments that people tended to make, not so much maybe now, but certainly at the beginning was, oh, I thought I was the only one. You know, I thought I was the only one going through this. I didn't realise there were other people going through what I'm going through, you know, and it was that sense of relief. I remember walking into an AA meeting and there was a sign above the door and it said, "You're no longer alone." You know, and there was something very comforting about that. Something very comforting. The only problem was I didn't want to be there, so I felt even more alone by seeing this sign. But after a while, you know, it just felt like a welcoming mat. That's what it felt like, you know. And we want Bottled Up to be like that. I mean, I think really way at the beginning our vision was that we would have a, you know, start a community, you know, and that's what we'd like to do. And what happens with the forum is it kind of ebbs and flows, and sometimes what you get is you one or two people who are actually quite vociferous, you know, they post a lot, you know, and it kind of generates activity. But we've got lots of others who just wait for other people to, you know. So if you want activity in the forum, be the activity, you know, start it. And somebody else will join in.
Yeah.
And we have 2 or 3 people who definitely will join in with you, there's no doubt about it.
And we love it when you comment after these videos as well.
aye.
And one of the reasons we do this so very drinking our coffee in our kitchen is because we want to be real people to you. We are real people. We live real lives. And there are, you know, I want to tell you, you might think you've just arrived, you're the only one. There are people from all over the world in this
Yes,
website.
we are not the Simpsons.
No,
You know, not nearly as funny for a start, you know.
speak for yourself.
All right.
Right, just to get back on point.
Yes.
So, you know, what's the point of what we're saying is dare to come, dare to speak,
yeah.
dare to be part of what this is. You matter, your pain matters, your journey matters. That's why we've set this up. So become a part of what this group is.
I remember right at the beginning when we were kicking ideas about, and one of the ideas that we had was a cup of coffee. You know, come and sit with a cup of coffee and listen to us. That was the idea.
Yeah.
You know, I have mine. You know, where's yours? You know, cheers.
Yes.
But the idea was that you were sitting down with a trusted friend.
Yeah.
The forum's the same. Sit down with a trusted friend. Say what you want to say. Say what you want to say.
Ask what you want to ask. We're doing a series at the moment on clarification, and absolutely, if there's something you're not sure about with the program or just with what you're going through, just sling a question out. We read the forum and we'll pick up on that, and we'll really, you know, do what we can to try and address it. We might address it there and then on the forum, or we might address it here. We'll be very careful about confidentiality. You know, we won't say Margaret from Bridgend asked this question. We will couch that question carefully so it's not traced back to you.
Absolutely.
But we are listening all the time, aren't we?
Yeah. I think if you go and you look at the research, you know, in terms of how people start to recover and people start to get, you know, benefits from just about anything. And I'm not just talking about bottled up, I mean talking about gym, diet, club, you know, anything. The only way to do it is to be engaged in it, you know. And when you look at the research on, you know, sort of recovery, then the people who are more engaged in it get more out of it.
Yeah.
It's that simple, you know. It's not passive. It's just the same as if you buy a gym membership, you know. Buying a gym membership's not going to change anything unless you use that gym membership and go and actually, you know, use the machines, etc. It's the same here.
And
we
this
have a
is
forum.
using the muscle of openness and expression and being heard, all the stuff you don't get when you're living with a drinker, you know. So when we don't want to nag this for us, it makes no difference to us, but we want to encourage it for you. And I have to say about the chain of care, the way that we try to fund the website, again, is a group mentality. And that is that if you're finding this helpful, if somebody in 6 months' time with maybe a similar situation to you is going to arrive and come and get help. Now, that doesn't, you know, these things, they don't, they're not self-generating financially. And we've put huge amounts of money into the website, but we need your help to maintain it. So if you give, all right, again, it's a group activity. It goes straight back into the next person down the line that needs the help that you're giving. And we don't want you to give if you're not being helped. But if you are being helped, would you consider financing somebody else to get that help? And it's called, that's why we call it the chain of care.
I mean, some of you may remember a book or a film that's called Pay It Forward. And it's a true story. And it's about a kid who started a project. They were asked to do a project in school, and this was his project, was to pay it forward. In other words, you know, you pay for the next person, who pays for the next person, who pays for the next person, who pays for the next person, you know. And we were actually, it's about thinking about somebody else. And that's kind of what we're looking at here, this idea of pay it forward. We call it a chain of care, same idea, you know. So it's a case of, you know, you're setting up something, make sure it's there for the next generation to come along, for the next generation of drinkers, families, etc. to come along. You know? So we hope you will engage as much as you can. The more you engage, the more you get out of it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
You know?
And again, talk to us.
Yeah.
Ask questions of us.
Yeah.
It is our heart to do something a little bit more group orientated. It's a case of getting time to do it. We're both busy therapists. The other thing is, remember that John in particular, I mean, I've got my own counselling practice, so it's harder for me. But John basically focuses on, bottled up. Either he has quite a lot of drinkers that come, haven't you? And quite a lot of families of drinkers. And again, we want to be part of helping you. Now, we do charge for that because that's how we live. That's how we keep a roof over our heads. But we want it to be accessible for you. When we had the pandemic, we kind of dropped the prices and everything else. So, again, we're doing everything we can for you not to feel alone. We don't want you to feel alone. And if you're sitting there feeling alone, then come and just dare to share. Dare to share is a little motto. Dare to share. Just arrive. Just say who you are.
Yep.
And kind of make that statement to the forum. I want to be part of this journey of recovery together. So
we want to put above our website, you're no longer alone.
Yeah, we do. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be our matter.
You're no longer alone.
Yeah. So so you matter to us. If you're sitting there
Absolutely.
feeling alone, just listen to this. We're so glad you've come. We're so glad you're listening. You matter. Your journey matters. Your pain matters. That's why we're here. And we will regularly input from our hearts to you. We call this heart to heart. So we're in this journey together. Come and recover with the community. I think we just finished there.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So finish with the title. We're all in this together. Thanks
All
for
in this
listening.
together.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.